Hello everyone, this is Seluxus back here with another video, another Master Duel video. So this is a follow-up to my last video talking about the Generator deck, one of my favorite decks in the game. This is the same build that I showed in that video. Now if you have not seen that video where I go over the deck list, definitely go watch that, because that's the video where I kind of explain what every card does, why every card is in here, and all of that. So if you get a little lost in this video, I recommend going back to look at the last video. That way you can get back up, caught back up to speed with it. So I might explain some of the combos that I'm doing, or some of what I'm doing in the duels, but for the most part I won't explain in too much detail. Just because that'd be pretty redundant, since you could just go watch the last video to see the explanation for how everything works. I'm playing on the new playmat that was released after the maintenance. I don't know if too many people have caught on, but two new mats were released: the ritual one, which is this one, and then a gear one. But I just really like this one a lot. So we didn't open up with too great of... we didn't really open up too well, but we are only in silver rank, so I'm not really expecting too much from my opponent. Okay, perfect. Alright. So Loptier, contribute a generator monster to special summon a level 9 generator monster from your deck. Unless that's negated, of course. This is fine. Thankfully, Ash doesn't destroy when it negates. It definitely would have been a smarter thing to just keep the other Loptier set. That way it can come around to my turn, I contribute summon Mardell, use Mardell to search for boss stage. So that's a misplay on my part. I was trying to go for damage, but this actually works. This works fine. So I will go ahead and set Condemned Witch, because we already have Forbidden Droplets, so I don't really need to search for Forbidden Droplets. It's more valuable to me if this lasts until my next turn, which is more likely to do in defense position. I just hope my opponent doesn't have their play now. Okay, perfect. Oh, this is really good. Wasn't the ideal way to get here, but we got here. So we contribute these two to tribute summon Mardell. On summon, Mardell will search for a generator spell or trap card, which we will get the field spell, boss stage. Unless there's another Ash Blossom or negation. Beautiful. Or searches a generator card. Okay. We're going to grab boss stage. And we can go ahead and activate that. And now we're pretty much safe. Or even if they did Ash Blossom, I have generator boss room face down. When your opponent activates a card or effect in response to a generator card or effect, discard a card, and their activated effect becomes each player draws a card. So it technically negates an effect that tries to counter these. So like this right here, since they are chaining Max C to Generator Boss Stage, I can activate Boss Room, and their effect of Max C becomes each player draws one card. So them activating Max C actually does nothing. But had my opponent not chained Max C to the activation of Boss Room, or Boss Stage, they would be in a better position. So we can activate World Legacy Monstrosities, which lets me special summon 2 level 9 monsters with different types and attributes from the targeted monster. But they can't attack and destroy them during the end phase. But that's fine, because we mainly just kind of want some of these in the graveyard for us to summon back with Hela. So what we'll do is we will summon Nidhogg and Har. Or actually, we can all actually use them for as Xyz material. That'll probably be even better. So we'll go ahead and do that. So Book of Moon. Actually, that helps. That helps me a lot because Har won't be destroyed during the end phase anymore. And I could just attach him anyways. Yeah, this is fine. That doesn't really have an effect on me. So I'll use Mardell and Nidhogg to Xyz summon Jormungandr, the Generator Boss of Eternity. This thing can get pretty powerful really quickly. So we can activate this, detach Nidhogg. We both draw a card, and then both players have to attach a card from their hand or field to Jormungandr, and this is a quick effect. So I can activate it during both turns. So I'm going to attach my Har, since he was face down, not really doing anything. And now, during my opponent's turn, I can use Boss Stage to summon the optimal amount of tokens. I can even use Boss Stage now to summon... Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. We can summon Hela. And now I can summon the optimal amount of tokens. I can detach Har to activate Jormungandr's effect. Then I can use Hela to summon Har from my graveyard. And there's a negation set up. I don't like the fact that Utgard is in my hand. I kind of want that on the field, but it's fine. Go ahead and enter battle and hit him for 3,000. And each turn, this thing is just going to gain 1,000 attack points through its effect. Because each time you're detaching one material and attaching two. So on their draw, Generator Boss Stage activates. I can special summon a Generator monster from my deck. I think the only one left is Har, actually. So we can just summon one of the other ones from the graveyard. Oh, we have Frody. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go for Loptir to give everything plus 1,000 attack. Since I special summon a Generator monster during my opponent's turn, Generator Boss Stage summons 3 tokens to my field, or as many as possible, but I only have 3 monster zones. And all of my effects are currently protected by Boss Room, so if my opponent wanted to chain anything, Boss Room would actually help me, if anything, because I can discard Utgard, so I can summon Utgard using Hela. Just kind of helps me get him out of my hand. What I will do real quick is I will activate Hela, tribute that. I accidentally did the wrong order. I meant to use Jormungandr to detach Har, then do that. But this is fine. I can go ahead and activate Loptir, tribute a token, and that lets me summon Har from my deck. So this is fine. So right now we have an Omni Negate in Har. We have a Summon Negate in Nidhogg. And Har's effect activates whenever a card is added to my opponent's hand. I can force my opponent to send a monster from their hand to the graveyard. So we're finally actually going to be able to see what our opponent is playing. Oh, do they have... What? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, no. We're going to negate that. Yep. Great, there's another one, and that's why I wanted to keep Nidhogg on the field, because Nidhogg can negate a special summon, which is great. I'm going to go ahead and use Jormungandr. I can detach... we'll detach hard, doesn't really matter too much. And then both players attach a card, or draw a card, and then attach a card to Jormungandr. So I'm going to go ahead and attach Utgard. Actually, I'm going to keep Utgard in my hand, that way I can use it with Forbidden Droplets, just in case. I will go ahead and get rid of my extra copy. Actually, we'll get rid of Chalice, because that's the least useful to me right now. Oh, that's not very fun. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah, I'll go ahead and activate it. Or... This is kind of tough, because this thing is not going to be destroyed. Well, either way, it wouldn't be destroyed. No, it would. Okay, I'm sorry, I gotta think for a second. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and activate Droplets on this. I will discard Utgard. Boss stage. I forgot I could send cards from my field to the graveyard as well. I'll get rid of Boss Room and Nidhogg. And negate all of those. Yeah, I forgot Forbidden Droplets can send cards from your field to the graveyard as well as your hand. Okay, so they can summon Boros Sword Dragon, but this is during their main phase too, so I'm not really worried at all. Alright. Now I can definitely get rid of this Boral Sword Dragon. I think I have another copy of Hela in my deck. Yeah, okay. So what I'll do is I'll use Hela and Har. Actually, first I'll go ahead and use Jormungandr. I'll detach Mardell. So we both draw a card and then attach one to it as material. Basically, before I commit to an Ixie summon, I just want to make sure that I don't draw Hela off of Jormungandr's effect, because I want to be able to summon Hela from my deck using Generator Boss Stage. I could have activated that to make him send a monster to the graveyard, but it's okay. I guess either of these would work. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Now, Phantom Fortress is the way to go here. So he can activate his Boral Sword Dragon to switch one of them to defense position. This one's really the only one that'll matter, because then that won't be able to switch his position back. But if he switches Jormungandr to defense position, I can just switch it right back and still attack for 5,000. Or he can Torrential Tribute. Fuck. That's something. But that's why I was thinking through a few steps ahead, because I wanted a recovery play through boss stage just in case. So we can summon Hela from the deck, summon 4 tokens, use Hela to tribute a token to special summon Har from the graveyard, and then we basically have our board back with a negate, some graveyard revival, and we can go into an Ixie summon if we want. That's one of my favorite things about this deck, is how resilient it is. Like, I just got Torrential Tributed, yet I have all of this back. Yep, and they surrender. So of course, Numeron's not really the best, not the best deck. If I was going up against a more competitive deck, I probably would have lost that because of those earlier turns where I didn't really have my plays. So we'll jump into another one. That duel did just kind of showcase how resilient the deck is, being able to survive a Torrential Tribute and all that. This is amazing. This is a really good hand. So we have access to our boss stage from the very beginning, and it's protected by Called by the Grave just in case they had an Ash Blossom. Go boss stage, normal summon Lopetier, set, and pass. So once they draw, boss stage will grab Har from the deck, and then Lobetier can grab Hela from the deck if I need to. But I'll wait on Lobetier's effect until I know exactly what I'm going up against. And that's one thing that I love about this deck is you're able to wait and react to your opponent to make sure you know exactly what, what boss monster you need for what situation. So I have an Omni Negate, a Monster Negate, potentially a Monster Negate if they have something in the graveyard. Okay, and I'm probably going to want to go ahead and grab Nidhogg for this, for Raid Raptors. So I'll drop the Generator token. And I will grab Nidhogg to negate a special summon. Because Raid Raptors are an Xyz summon deck, so I can wait until they go into their Xyz monster or their Link monster, negate the summon, and then their turn is basically over right there. Yep. And my favorite thing about Nidhogg is it only requires one tribute to negate the summon. Some of the boss monsters require 2 tributes. This one requires 1, so I can chain. Let's see. Oh, this is a really cool card. How it's a Raid Raptor and a Phantom Knight card. I've never seen that before. Alright. Let's say a card that's trying to activate here. Oh, I guess I could look at the... There we go. This card's sent to the graveyard at... Okay, but you have to control a Raid Raptor card to do that. So this is fine. And then, since they added a card to their hand, I can activate Har to force them to send a monster from their hand or field to the graveyard. Perfect. Alright. So the back row that they have there does scare me a little bit, because this deck doesn't really have too much of a way to deal with that. I can go into Phantom Fortress to banish one of their Spell or Trap cards. Yeah, because I want to clear up some of my board anyways. This is why Xyz monsters are really good in this deck, because you summon them to the main monster zone to free up zones for your tokens. Xyz summon... Okay, that's a continuous card. Okay, that's fine. So I will summon Mardell. Yes, I'll summon Mardell. And then when Mardell is summoned, it adds a generator card to my hand, so I will go ahead and grab Boss Room, just in case they're stupid enough to chain something to my generator cards. Then I will Xyz summon into this. So we'll go into Phantom Fortress, so we can banish that card, so that way we don't have to worry about the graveyard effect. And we can detach Nidhogg, that way once we summon Hela with our boss stage, we can revive Nidhogg to negate another summon. Basically, we're setting up the exact same turn, or exact same board as we had in the last round, but now it's even more powerful. Then we can change U to attack. And now that they have some Raid Raptor cards in their graveyard, like I know they have Fuzzy Lanius in their hand, so if they try to activate that, I can hit it with Called by the Grave. So Called by the Grave is for sure live, Forbidden Chalice is live, Har's about to be live once we summon this. So at this point, I don't really see any way that we can lose this round, or lose this game. Because we kind of have everything set up and locked down exactly how we need it. Alright, do you have one of those? You do have one of those in your graveyard. That is hilarious. During the end phase, I'll activate Hela. Tribute a token because we might as well. We just want to clear out some of these tokens because they're destroyed by the during the end phase anyways. So we want to try to use as much of those as possible while they're on our field. Pot of Avarice is usually really good in this deck because you cycle through your boss monsters alive, and you really want them in your deck because it's far easier to summon them with boss stage than it is with Hela. So once you get through your generator monsters, you can put them back into your deck, and then you can kind of reset your game state with that. So it's really good. Go ahead and use this to banish your last face down. Okay, rank up magic. Whoa, okay. During your opponent's turn. Huh. That's interesting. And I do not like that. Yeah, I'll go ahead and negate that with Har. But since I activated that, this doesn't target, so I can change the card that I'm banishing to this one. Now the field is open. So really, they can more hurt themselves than anything. I guess it didn't really matter because I had game on the board anyways. Alright. Generators are really fun. They're definitely a deck that you kind of have to think about a little bit. Like, their combos aren't super crazy. They don't have big, long combos where, you know, making one misclick will lose the whole game. It's not that kind of difficult, or it's not that kind of strategic, but you definitely do want to think a few steps ahead of time. You definitely want to pay attention to what your opponent is doing so you can react correctly. It's definitely a reactionary control style deck. I wouldn't necessarily call it control because it doesn't really feel quite like control. I would call it an OTK control hybrid because you do kind of control the game, and then you just swing in with these big boss monsters. I I don't know how I would classify the deck. I definitely wouldn't call it stun. It's definitely not stun. It's not a combo-oriented deck. I classify it fun. I identify this deck as the fun category of deck. So definitely try it out. I wouldn't say it's the cheapest deck ever. As you can see, there's quite a few super rares and ultra rares that you play. The 3 main generator monsters that you play are super rare. Good thing is you only play 2 copies of the boss monsters that are super rare. Forbidden droplets, pretty expensive, but you can substitute that out with Forbidden Chalice instead. The extra deck, you don't really have to go this crazy with the extra deck. This is where a lot of the money is. And I'm trying to get 3 copies of Fortress and 3 copies of Fortress, 3 Earth Slicer, and 3 Hyperiton. That way I always have access to one of those, even if I hit them with Pot of Extravagance. So it's definitely not the cheapest deck in the world, but in this game, Master Duel, you can build anything for free if you make a new account, which is what I did for these. This isn't my main account. So I definitely recommend making a new account, building a generator deck. This only took me not very long at all. I think... I don't remember exactly how long this took me, but no more than an hour or 2 to have this deck built as it is right now. So let me know what you think down below. Leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe so you see more of my Master Duel videos coming up. I do have the next video I know will be about Cubics. I did promise to do a video about Cubics later, so I'll definitely do that next. So stay tuned for that and for all my other videos. Thank you so much for watching. You all have a great day.